unless you came out and purposely like flipping kids off and telling people, you know what I mean? Like,
and that's not my shtick. I don't do that, and
yeah.
I know it's called shooting the shit, right? If we get into psychology of wrestling, I mean, I might be upsetting a few people, because I don't do that. I don't go out flipping the crowd, none of that. I don't have to,
All right, let's get into it, bro. Let's get into this psychology, bro.
All right, well, let's go right there. Okay, well, now that it's on my mind, heels. You're not a heel if you think that you're gonna fucking flip off the crowd and say you're gonna smack someone and all this bullshit. No. A heel puts the baby face over. Okay? All you selfish fucks out there, if you're such a selfish fuck, be a baby face. Learn how to wrestle, be a baby face, and get over. All right? I know my job as a heel. I know my job as a baby face. That's why the ninjas, like you just said, they work so well. Because the cheating puts the baby face over. It makes it feel like I need their help to get it done, which puts so much power in that baby face's hands, like, because he doesn't need that. Zuko's beating me up. He's beating these ninjas up. His partner, Tristan Slade, the Greasers, they're beating us up. Even when it's the numbers game, we're putting them over. And that's how, like you said, get heat. We get heat if the baby face is over. And if the baby face isn't over, how are we going to get heat? If the crowd doesn't give a shit about these baby faces, what hate am I getting? Oh, because I told some grandma in the first row, go fuck yourself? That's not hate. That lasts a split second and it's over. It's done. That doesn't carry you from show to show. That doesn't stick in their mind. Hey, you might lose a customer that way.
Yeah.
You might turn somebody off if you do that. But if you put the baby face over and then you say something to an audience member, and because that baby face is so over, they give a shit about you getting your ass kicked by that baby face. And now we make some fucking magic.
That makes, you know what, that's 100% right, man. And, like, I've just started doing the managing thing with Vinny Vane. And like, for me, I've never done promos and stuff like that, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I know what a good promo is by watching it and you know what I mean? But now having to do that shit, and like, I think people don't understand. It's like, I could come out with all the, and looking back after doing it the first time, man, I go, fuck, man, I could have done this so much better. Like, as far as like getting more heat by saying different things and doing, you know what I mean? Like different things, but that's like living and learning, bro. And, I've had like, people, reach out and, give me advice after that and said, hey, look, this is what you did well. This is what you didn't do well. And the thing is, it's about listening to that shit, because like, I feel, and, we were talking about this last night with Zuko and Gibbs, is like a lot of people, I feel, and this is what we were talking about, is like that people in this generation and this like young people today, millennials, whatever you want to call it, really go out of like not really wanting to put in the work to get something, wanting something straight away, but also like when they go and get feedback, just to sort of say like, no, what they want is a pat on the back, say, no, bro, like you're good. You know what I mean? Like they don't want to hear the critiques of it to get themselves to the next level. They just want to.
And I'm a young guy. Believe me, I'm not the Zuko. I'm not the Gibbs. I'm not these grizzled, knowledgeable vets like they are. I'm not at all. I'm one of the young guys, but it pisses me off just as much to see guys my age, younger, hell, even some of them are older than me, doing what you just said. They're expecting a pat on the back for just doing something, or for just asking someone about their opinion. It's like, why did you ask? If you really want to learn something, learn, So yeah, that pisses me off so much too. And I feel like over the years I've really come into my own, sort of not allowing the stigma of, oh, he's just a young guy, because I was always the youngest in every locker room. I mean, now I feel like I'm finally growing up, because there's finally people younger than me in these locker rooms, So
How old are you now? How old are you now?
25 now.
25.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. When did you break into this? When did you get in? How
I
old were
was
you? 15. And like where did you get your start? AWF?
Yep. So first it was AWF. AWF out of the Mass Nutrition shop in Penrith. There was a little area behind the supplement store, and we had a ring there and a little bit of a mat space. And basically, it was Greg TNT Bounds
Yep.
and Jay Law, real name Lee Leslie, and they were running the school at the time. Greg didn't have much. Um, didn't have much of training with us one on like because he was traveling at the time a lot and he was doing all sorts of other different things. I'm not really sure what, but he was doing something else. But it was AWF at the time, and maybe 9 months later, so Lee Leslie pretty much was the only guy training us, and J Law. And about 9 months later, they had a split, and that school ended up staying with Lee J Law, I think, because he owned it before Greg had put his name on it as AWF.
Yeah.
And I just kept carrying on with J Law. And it wasn't until 2017, which I ended up going overseas first to Japan for a few months. And then after that, I sort of outgrew, I would say, it was called the APWG at that time, Australian Pro Wrestling Union. Yep. So after AWF, APWG. So I pretty much outgrew that place. I'm still very happy for the start that I had. You know, some people, especially now that I see how other people are getting started and just the bullshit that they have to, like, look, I get it, right? I get the whole paying your dues thing, right? Everyone should pay their dues. But at what point do you actually learn how to fucking wrestle? You know what I mean? Like, I hear so many different stories of this guy and this, like, people trying to find places to train, and they have to do fucking a laundry list of things before they even learn, like, how to wrestle, you know? And then we end up with an indie scene the way it is anyway, you know? I mean, half the guys, in my opinion, are shit, you know? I'll say it straight out. I don't fucking like most of the guys on the scene. I don't like them. Not personally. I don't know them personally. I don't fucking.
Sure.
You know, I'm not one of these guys. I've only got a handful of people in my circle, right? I'm just not a social butterfly like some people. But their work, I don't rate it, you know. And it really goes back to, well, what are they doing in training? How are they learning? What are they learning? How often are they there? You know, are they doing other things on top of that? You know, are these guys? You know, I hear a lot of people say technical wrestling and this and that. And I go, you mean wrestling? Like, what the fuck are you talking? What's technical wrestling? So there's a non-technical wrestling, like all this shit. It makes me feel like, what are we really learning? What is the education? When you go to a school, any school, you go to university, you study something, right? You're getting an education. If you really ask these pro wrestling schools, what the fuck is the education? Really, what is it? Fucking suck this guy's dick. Fucking put over this guy. What is it? What is it? Break your fucking back learning how to do bumps because that's it? Because we want to weed out the other guys. You know how you weed out everyone? You teach them how to fucking wrestle. The ones that don't want to wrestle won't last. It's so simple. I wanted to always wrestle. I started martial arts at 12 years old because I wasn't old enough to do pro wrestling yet.